Congresswoman Jackie Speier of California, a member of the House Intelligence Committee. And Congresswoman, let's start at the sort of top level. Do you trust the process in the White House in terms of who they are bringing into the White House after what we've seen with Flynn and Gorka?
I think that we all have to wonder whether anyone has been properly screened. And it goes to the core values of our country to have persons that we can trust in these positions of ultimate trust. And Mr. Gorka is a great example of someone in his own country calling him a snake oil salesman, that he was not given a security clearance in Hungary and lost for mayor. So he comes trotting into the Trump administration as a counterterrorism expert, when really what he was an editor at Breitbart. He was one of Steve Bannon's voices.
What about the White House's contention on the case of Flynn, that basically they had no reason to do anything over and above a security clearance review that had happened years earlier?
But that's just false. And to somehow lay that on President Obama is really preposterous. President Obama fired him. And he had a responsibility to have him properly researched and checked out. And the fact that he has violated the law, this is a general in the United States Army who was told not just once but twice in letters from the Department of Defense that he cannot receive money from a foreign source without first getting the consent of the Army. Consent doesn't come orally, it comes in a form of a letter. He received no consent, and it's interesting to point out that after all of this comes out, he is now seeking immunity to speak to the intelligence committees of both the House and Senate. Well, he realizes, and I think his attorney realizes, that he has violated the law. I have joined with a number of colleagues, both Republican and Democrat, and we are now seeking the Secretary of the Army to do what he has the authority to do, which is to investigate fully and then to recall all the money that he has received from these foreign sources by taking that money out of his pension. Because U.S. military officers who retire can always be called back to active duty, and that is why it is incumbent on them to provide information about any interest in seeking foreign source monies and why they need to get consent first from the Department of Defense.
You mentioned the reporting. It's been reporting. I don't know if you have a more direct source. You may, since you sit on one of the relevant committees, the House Intelligence Committee, about his offer of immunity, an offer I think that's been rejected, at least by Richard Burr.